Welcome to our explainer. You ever feel like your meditation practice is just stuck? Like you're spinning your wheels? Well, today we're diving into some pretty powerful teachings that say the real secret isn't about, trying harder when you're sitting on the cushion. Nope. It's about changing your mind first.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this all down. First up, we're going to talk about something called the stress trophy. And yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. Then, we'll get into why changing your mind isn't just a good idea, it's non-negotiable. After that, I'll walk you through a really practical 5-step framework for your practice. From there, we'll dive deep into winning the inner battle with your own ego. And we'll wrap it all up with a simple 1-week challenge you can start literally today.
So, let's kick things off with a kind of weird modern habit. We all say we want peace, right? We want to be calm, collected, but our actions, they tell a completely different story. We actually treat our stress like it's some kind of accomplishment.
I mean, really, think about it. How often do you hear people almost bragging about how stressed they are? This teaching suggests it's actually a strange way we boost our own ego. It's as if we're all competing for some imaginary trophy for most overwhelmed person.
So you gotta ask, right? What if this whole cultural need to look busy and stressed, what if that's the very trap that's keeping us from the real peace we claim to want? And that leads us perfectly into the next big idea. See, if we're secretly patting ourselves on the back for being stressed, then the real work, it has to start in our heads, long before we even think about sitting down to meditate. Which brings us to the fundamental question, really. Can you actually succeed in meditation without first changing your mind? Is it even possible to just sit down and find peace when our mind is still running all its old, chaotic, stress-loving programs?
And the answer from this teaching, it is a huge, flashing, neon no. You just can't. You cannot find success if you aren't willing to do the hard work of changing your mental habits first. Think of it this way. Mental transformation isn't some optional upgrade. It is the price of admission.
And that right there, that's the core conflict, isn't it? On one side, we've got what we want, meditation success, inner peace, focus. But then on the other side, we have what we actually do all day long, blame, complain, and react. The two just can't coexist. Okay, so if we all agree that changing the mind is the real goal, then how in the world do we do it? What's the game plan? Well, luckily for us, this teaching lays out a super clear step-by-step framework to follow. All right, here's the 5-step guide. Step 1, position. Just settle your body, get into your space. Step 2 is comfort, and this is key. It means you consciously disengage from all those distracting thoughts. It's like walking into your house and just shutting the door on a really noisy street. Step 3, adopt a carefree attitude. Start to notice that little bit of space between you and your thoughts, which leads right into step 4, thought separation. Really understanding that your thoughts are not you. And finally, step 5, breath awareness. That's your anchor. That's what you bring your mind back to. Okay, now we're getting to the real heart of the matter. Because look, having a framework is one thing, but to actually make it work, you have to understand the battlefield you're on. And that battlefield is inside your own head. And this is maybe the single most important insight. All suffering is internal. It is not external. It's not other people or your job or the traffic causing you pain. It's your internal expectations and your reactions to those things. The problem starts and ends right here, inside our own minds. And the teaching gives this inner troublemaker a fantastic name, the salty ego. Just think about that for a second. It's salty. It's inherently bitter. It's that voice inside that just loves to blame and complain and react. And you can't sweeten it by changing your job or getting a new partner. The change has to be internal. So how does this salty ego operate? What's its strategy? Well, first, it fosters blame. It strengthens all those negative habits you're trying to break. It completely hijacks your mind and your body. And maybe most importantly, it will fight tooth and nail against any teaching like this one that threatens its control. But here's the good news. We are not helpless in this fight. Not at all. There's a powerful weapon we can use to win this inner battle. And it's a surprisingly simple technique called thought separation.
So let's see how this actually works in real time. A thought pops into your head. A super common one, right? I am upset. We've all been there 1,000 times.
Okay, so here's the practice. The moment that thought appears, you immediately and consciously reframe it. You say to yourself, this is just a thought. It is not me. You recognize that I am upset is just a cloud passing through the sky of your mind. It's an event happening in you, but it is not the totality of who you are. And that is the whole principle in a nutshell. The understanding that your thoughts and your feelings, they are just phenomena passing through. They are separate from your true identity. The only reason they cause suffering is because we get them all mixed up with our sense of me. The second you create even a tiny bit of space, you stop being a victim of your thoughts and you start to reclaim your power. All right, let's bring this all home. Because theory is one thing, but practice, that's where the real transformation happens. So here's a super simple, actionable challenge you can start, well, right now.
So what's the challenge? It's simple, but it is so powerful. Just commit to observing your mind in this new way for 7 days. That's it. Just 1 week. You can do that, right?
Here are the rules of the game. Throughout your day, while you're working, driving, whatever, just monitor your mind. Be a detective. And when you catch it blaming, or complaining, or reacting, just mentally label it. This is a thought, not me. Then remind yourself that any suffering you're feeling is coming from the inside. And finally, practice a little humility. Choose to trust this teaching over your ego's screaming arguments that it's someone else's fault.
So look, the big takeaway here is this isn't about adding another hour of meditation to your already busy schedule. Not at all. It's about a tiny, consistent shift in your awareness during your day. It's a simple practice, but when you do it consistently, it can lead to an absolutely profound transformation. The real question isn't whether it works. The real question is, what could you discover in just 1 week?